Hello. My research proposal presentation is covering accessibility and cognitivism, specifically how the two work together. Accessibility strategies work well with cognitivist approaches. Cognitivism focuses on how the information is processed, and accessibility helps all learners receive and process that same information. Both cognitivism and accessibility focus on organizing knowledge and supporting learners. For example, when designing an online learning module for students with diverse cognitive needs, the cognitivist approach would include concept mapping to organize materials to help develop patterns and schemas visually. Sequencing the information in chunks would reduce the cognitive load. An accessibility approach would include providing multiple mediums for students to interact with: visual, audio, and text. Assistive technology would provide even more supports for learners with disabilities and diverse needs. Literature review. The literature highlights three themes central to integrating cognitivism and accessibility. They are cognitive load management, schema formation and scaffolding, and personalization and adaptive learning. Let's break these down. Cognitive load management. Cognitive load management focuses on cognitive load theory. This includes chunking, multimodal content delivery, and worked examples. Learners with disabilities and diverse cognitive needs benefit from research into cognitive load theory and adaptive instructional strategies. The graphic on the right breaks down three different types of cognitive load: intrinsic cognitive load, extraneous cognitive load, and germane cognitive load. Some researchers will include germane cognitive load in with extraneous cognitive load, but the two are separate. Intrinsic cognitive load focuses on the complexity of new information and aims to simplify information as well as the cognitive load. Extraneous cognitive load focuses on distracting working memory from processing new information and aims to reduce the cognitive load. Germane cognitive load focuses on deep processing of new information by integrating it with previous learning and aims to maximize learning and the impacts of the cognitive load. Schema formation and scaffolding. Schema formation and scaffolding connect new information to prior knowledge. The strategies mentioned here, step-by-step guidance, conceptual variation, and multimodal tools, help reduce barriers and foster comprehension to address gaps in prior knowledge and accommodate diverse learning styles. Staying culturally relevant will help students form schema and gain independence. For example, using experiences about driving in the snow as a teaching example would not be nearly as effective in Puerto Rico, which doesn't really see snow, as it would be in Greenland. The image below breaks down the schema theory. Students connect with something through their senses and determine what about the item caused them to take notice. They think and pull out information from their memories and activate that knowledge. By doing this, they're able to recognize and remember this new information by connecting it with the old. There's a teacher on TikTok who creates learning jingles for his students based on Taylor Swift songs. By adding in music his students listen to, he's able to activate their prior knowledge and connect this new information with the old. You never know, some of these students might be 25 years old and still know the jingle better than the original song. Forms of scaffolding. So this is just some little extra information here. An important note is that learners with disabilities are not the only people who benefit from accessible materials and cognitivist strategies. English language learners also benefit from scaffolding, relatable examples, and assistive technologies. This graphic breaks down some different types of scaffolding that are beneficial for all types of learners, regardless of their backgrounds, and this does also include anyone learning a new language. It includes strategies for sensory learning, interactive learning, and graphic or visual learning. The creator goes so far as to give the purpose for using these forms of scaffolding and how they can help specific groups of learners. Personalization and adaptive technologies. Personalization and adaptive technologies come from advancements in instructional design and technology. Cognitive strategies and accessibility come together to provide an inclusive and equitable education. Financial struggles and disabilities can impact how a learner is able to access content. The student may not be able to access the material because of a lack of understanding or a lack of physical access. Regardless of which one this is, the student isn't able to learn the material and will require some type of support. The graphic on the right touches on the differences in equality, accommodation, and accessibility. Looking at the top left image, equality. This image represents a status quo classroom where, due to an exclusionary layout, learners do not have equitable access to the classroom. Some learners can reach the chalkboard to write on it, and some cannot. Everyone is treated the same, or equally, and expected to write on the chalkboard. However, this arrangement is not fair. The chalkboard is accessible to some and too high for others who need to sit while writing. Moving to the top right image, accommodation. This image shows a classroom where learners with disabilities are raised to a level learning field with their peers. They have equitable access to education through the individualized accommodation of a ramp and platform that elevate them to the chalkboard. This is what the everyday teacher interacts with the most, accommodation. This is what the student in school is more likely to receive, accommodation. It's our current location. Moving to this bottom image, accessibility. This image represents accessible education. The proactive design of learning environments with a diverse group of learners in mind. Instead of a one-size-fits-all approach or providing an individualized accommodation, the arbitrary barrier of chalkboard height is mediated by lowering it and increasing its size so that all learners can access and write on it. This is the goal, the vision, where we're trying to get our classroom to go. Research questions. The research questions include: how do principles of cognitive load and information processing guide the development of accessible instructional materials? In what ways do schema formation and scaffolding contribute to the design of learning experiences for individuals with disabilities or diverse cognitive needs? And What are the current strengths and limitations in applying cognitivist theories to accessibility practices in instructional technology? Proposed methods. I would like to complete this research using literature review to conduct a systematic analysis of existing studies and research, focusing on the application of cognitivist theories and accessibility. I would prefer my sources to be academic journals or research studies published in academic journals. The searches will be conducted in EBSCOhost via the University of Alabama Scout search engine, and RefWorks, which is where I have compiled academic journals, articles from academic journals throughout my time as a student. The key phrases I will be using in my searches include accessibility in instructional technology, cognitive load theory, schema formation in learning design, universal design for learning, accessibility in digital learning experiences, cognitivism, and cognitivism and accessibility. The search will focus on peer-reviewed academic journals that are available in print or online. I'm not going to mess with the publication years. I want to see kind of what is the top research of the moment, skim through, look through, and find what works best. Expected results. I expect to find that accessibility and cognitivism work together to accomplish the following. Cognitive load and information processing principles guide the development of accessible instructional materials by emphasizing strategies such as chunking, multimodal delivery, and minimizing extraneous load to improve learner comprehension and retention. Schema formation and scaffolding contribute to the design of learning experiences for individuals with disabilities or diverse cognitive needs by linking new information to prior knowledge and providing structured support to gradually increase learner independence. And finally, the strengths of applying cognitivist theories to accessibility practices include enhancing learning efficiency through strategies like cognitive load management, while limitations include the challenges of accommodating diverse individual needs and real-world application in varied educational contexts. Implications. There are several implications for this study that include the development of more effective instructional materials, informing the design of more personalized and adaptive learning systems, and highlighting the importance of integrating schema formation and scaffolding in instructional strategies to bridge gaps in prior knowledge. And moving on, we have references. If you are interested in looking at any of those. And this will conclude my research proposal presentation that covers accessibility and cognitivism, specifically how the two work together. Thank you.